Every great leader in history, from Abraham Lincoln to Steve Jobs, from Winston Churchill to Oprah Winfrey, has shared one timeless skill: the ability to speak in a way that moves people, unites them, and drives them toward a shared vision. And that is what separates those who simply hold titles from those who truly led. This is the science of authority, clarity, and influence. When we think about leadership, we often imagine strategy, intelligence, or decision-making. But the truth is, the power to communicate, to take an idea inside your head and plant it with clarity and conviction inside the hearts of others, is the true currency of leadership. Great leaders don't just speak. They ignite belief. They don't drown people in words. They inspire with intention. And that starts with one thing most people never think about: presence. Before a single word is spoken, people are already reading you: your posture, your tone, your energy, your confidence. The science of communication shows that over 90% of what we interpret in a conversation isn't the words themselves. It's how those words are delivered. The way you walk into a room, the way you hold silence, the way you make eye contact, these things transmit confidence and command. Authority isn't something you declare. It's something you project. The most influential leaders know how to speak slowly enough to be understood, clearly enough to be remembered, and authentically enough to be trusted. If you want to talk like a leader, the first step is mastering clarity. Most people overcomplicate their message because they think sounding smart is the same as being understood. It's not. Leaders simplify. They cut through noise, get to the point, and speak in language that connects emotionally. When Steve Jobs introduced the iPhone, he didn't describe processor speeds or screen pixels. He said, "It's an iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator, simple, clear, memorable." Clarity builds confidence, and confidence builds authority. The human brain craves simplicity. It wants stories, not statistics. If you want people to follow you, don't just give them data, give them direction. Paint a vision they can feel. Speak in pictures. Tell them what the future looks like when they believe, when they act, when they rise. Because leadership language isn't about impressing people. It's about inspiring movement. Now, let us talk about influence, the invisible force that makes people want to listen to you. Influence is not manipulation. It's alignment. It's when your words, your tone, and your actions line up so perfectly that people sense integrity and follow it. The best leaders don't force people to follow them. They make following feel like the natural choice. Think about Martin Luther King Jr. His speeches weren't commands. They were invitations to believe in something bigger than self. He didn't say, "I have a plan," he said, "I have a dream." That's the difference between authority and influence. Authority demands attention, but influence earns devotion. You build influence through empathy, by making people feel seen, heard, and understood. When you talk, ask yourself, am I speaking for them or at them? True leaders speak for the people. They use language that lifts, not language that limits. They understand that words can wound or heal, destroy trust or deepen it. Every sentence you say is a brick in the foundation of your leadership. The science behind leadership communication proves that tone and pacing have more impact on trust than the actual content. Research from Harvard and Stanford found that speakers with slightly slower tempos and measured pauses are perceived as more confident and thoughtful. That's why great leaders don't rush. They know the power of silence. When you pause before making a point, you give your words weight. When you lower your tone slightly, people lean in. When you emphasize the right word at the right moment, you turn language into emotion. Communication is not just what you say. It's what people feel while you say it. So train your voice to match your message. If you are talking about hope, let warmth fill your tone. If you are sharing vision, let energy lift your words. If you are describing a challenge, let strength carry your sound. People follow voices that make them feel safe in uncertainty and inspired in adversity. Another secret to talking like a leader is intentional framing. Leaders understand how to reframe problems into possibilities. Where others say, "We can," they say, "Here's how we might." Where others see obstacles, they see opportunities for growth. This kind of language transforms team psychology. For instance, when NASA faced near disaster during Apollo 13, Gene Kranz famously said, "Failure is not an option." That single phrase reframed panic into determination. It gave direction, identity, and hope. As a leader, your words define reality for those you led. People will start to see the world the way you describe it. That's why you must choose your words like a sculptor chooses clay, carefully, purposefully, shaping belief with precision. Let us move deeper into the structure of leadership communication storytelling. Every great leader is a great storyteller because stories bypass logic and go straight to emotion. Data makes people think, but stories make people act. If you want to motivate your team, don't just say, "We need to increase sales." Tell the story of a customer whose life changed because of your product. Don't just say, "We must innovate." Tell the story of someone who took a risk and transformed the world. Storytelling is emotional leadership through language. It humanizes your message and makes it unforgettable. Neuroscientists say that the human brain lights up as if it's experiencing the story itself. When listening to a good narrative, that's how you move hearts, not with commands, but with connection. But no story will matter if people don't trust you. That's why authenticity is non-negotiable. Leaders who speak with fake confidence, forced charisma, or empty slogans eventually lose credibility. Real authority comes from alignment between words and actions. You can talk about transparency and hide information. You can preach respect and belittle others. Your voice loses power the moment your character cracks. To talk like a leader, live like one. When people know your words reflect your values, your message carries 10 times more impact. Think of it this way. Every time you speak, you're making a deposit or withdrawal from your trust account. Over time, people will either believe your words build truth or they'll stop listening altogether. Another key element of speaking like a leader is empathy, understanding not just what people hear, but how they feel when they hear it. Leadership communication isn't one way. It's a dialogue of emotion. Ask questions. Listen deeply. Respond thoughtfully. The more you understand people's motivations, fears, and dreams, the more effectively you can communicate. Empathetic leaders use phrases like, "I understand, let us figure this out together," or "Here's what I am hearing from you." These words don't just inform. They connect. They turn hierarchy into humanity. And when people feel connected, they commit. They go beyond compliance and move into conviction, confidence, clarity, and connection. These are the 3 pillars of speaking like a leader. Confidence comes from preparation and self-belief. Clarity comes from simplicity and purpose. Connection comes from empathy and authenticity. When all 3 align, your voice becomes a tool of transformation. Whether you're addressing a boardroom, leading a team meeting, or inspiring a crowd of thousands, your message should follow a rhythm. Open with empathy. Speak with authority. Close with vision. That's how leaders speak, not to fill silence, but to create movement.